Welcome. Today we're going to be making some mini chocolate Christmas trees. I've already tempered a bowl of dark chocolate. You're also going to need a freeze spray and some form of a tweezers. It doesn't really matter size wise, you just need a little bit of control over the tweezers themselves. A couple of different piping bags and some acetate sheets. I've stuck 3 acetate strips to my table and I have 3 strips more or less the same length that I'm going to just press down gently on top. So to start off with, I'm going to add a little bit of chocolate to my piping bag. And what I'm going to do next is just close the piping bag on top, like so. Okay, pop off or cut off the top of my bag and just make sure there's some chocolate flowing through the spout of the bag. Going to give it a little bit more. Like so. And then using this, I'm going to go to my acetate sheets. And on the ones that are stuck down, I'm just going to put a little bit of chocolate into the middle. Varying amounts, varying sizes to start with. Not very important how much, because we can always mix and match afterwards. But just putting little dots of chocolate onto your acetate like so. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is take my other strip of acetate, place it on top. Okay, and you can see even from just the weight of the acetate that the circles have kind of formed. To make them a little bit bigger and a little bit more compact, I'm just going to press gently on the top, like so. And I'm going to get varying circles or circle sizes of chocolate. And based on this guy, I can do the next line bigger or smaller, and equally my third line can be bigger or smaller depending on how big I want the base of my Christmas tree and how big I want the tip of the tree. Okay, so again, pressing out our chocolate. And these ones are going to be slightly bigger, which again works absolutely fine because I can use them for the base. Take my acetate, lay it on top like so, and just gently press them all down to get my base. Okay, and finally, my last one, I'm going to go for sizes somewhere in the middle. Sheet goes on like so, and again gently pressing down to give myself the layers of my Christmas tree. How many layers up you go is completely up to you, but I'm going to go for maybe 5 or 6 layers. I'm looking for a mini tree, much like the one that was on the show. So excess chocolate back into my bowl, and I'm just going to wait for my chocolate to harden. And I will see you back here when that happens. Okay, so for part 2, great thing about well-tempered chocolate is that it takes a couple of minutes to set up and nothing more. So I've taken the liberty of unsticking my paper or my chocolate from the table. And I'm now just going to unpeel the acetate that was on either side of the chocolate, so that I can start to decide which chocolate is going to go where on my Christmas tree. Okay, as I said, I'm going to look for more or less kind of 5 different sizes of discs that I can then use as the base for my Christmas tree. So I reckon 1, 2, that looks kind of similar, 3, 4, 5, 5, and you know what? We put in a 6th one for luck. Okay, so my 6 chocolate discs are going to be, whoops, this 6 right here that I'm going to leave on the cutting board. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking a bowl, because even though I am super short, I still want something that's a little bit elevated. So I'm going to take my first disc, pop that onto the paper. I'm then going to take my chocolate and add it this time into a paper cone. I just find I can get a much smaller cut into the paper cone and get a much smaller nozzle, so to speak, for my chocolate, so that I get a little bit more control over the chocolate. Okay, you can see even without me doing anything, there's a little drip. So I'm just going to cut the smallest amount I can and get somewhat of a drizzle out of the chocolate. Okay, I'm going to need my cold spray, and what I'm going to do is taking my chocolate disc with my tweezers. Okay, I'm going to put some chocolate in the middle of my chocolate first disc. Okay, take the chocolate with my, or take the second disc of chocolate with my left hand, place it on top, and then with some cold spray, freeze them both together. Okay, and that's layer 1 of my Christmas tree done. Okay, layer 2, same thing. Grab this guy, put it on top like so, freeze it, take it out. Okay. Pop on my chocolate, take my chocolate disc on top, freeze it all together. Okay, and you can see I'm getting something of a kind of a pyramid shape to my Christmas tree. Obviously, this is not going to look completely realistic. It is a Christmas tree made out of chocolate. Okay, it's not supposed to be a true representation. It is supposed to be something that is somewhat reminiscent of a Christmas tree. I feel like that's a better word for it. Okay, so going again, take your disc goes on like so, cold spray, oops, tweezers comes out. Okay, and then my last layer, chocolate goes on. So I'm going to take my blackhead tweezers, pop it on like so, freeze, take the tweezers out. Okay, and I know of something that looks somewhat like a Christmas tree. Okay, to finish it off, I'm just going to take my chocolate in my bag. Okay, I'm going to clear out some chocolate that's kind of crystallized at the tip of the bag, but I do want it to be something that's relatively difficult to pipe. Okay, because what I'm looking to do is get something with a point. Okay, so I'm just going to go in gently like so, press in and then pull away, and I'm going to have something that looks like a Christmas tree. Dust with confectioner's sugar, and that is my Christmas tree good to go. Okay.